This story about WeWork has been so captivating for everybody, not just on Wall Street, but across America, because people just know the company.
We look at WeWork and we can call it WeWork, We Spend. This is what WeWork is.
Imagine growing a company from just an idea to over $47 billion. Being able to fly around in your private jet to negotiate another deal worth millions of dollars. He's not a tech genius or Wall Street trader, but in just a few years, this man convinced some of the world's most powerful investors to hand him billions of dollars, promising to change how the world lives and works.
And if we define success as not just making money, but as being well and happy and having an ability to give and receive, then we've redefined the world. We build a community of creators. Our mission is to help our members create their life's work, and not just a living.
What they didn't know was that the revolution he sold them was just an idea of smoke and mirrors. And when the smoke cleared, he would walk away with nearly $2 billion.
We've studied the most money-losing companies that have gone public, the most that have lost money 12 months before they've done their IPOs. WeWork's the second most money-losing IPO after Uber.
This story is how Adam Neumann, the CEO of WeWork, built a cult of personality, brought a company to its knees, and cashed out while thousands of employees and investors lost everything. Born in 1979 in Tel Aviv, Israel, Adam's early life was marked by instability. His parents divorced when he was only 7 years, and he often had to move frequently with his mother, living in 13 different homes by the age of 22. But during his teenage years, Adam lived in a kibbutz community in southern Israel, embracing a communal style of living and developing a sense of responsibility. He then served as a junior officer in the Israeli Navy, which instilled in him discipline and leadership skills. But everything changed in 2001 when Adam moved to the United States. It was there, after he enrolled at the Baruch College's School of Business, he began to uncover his entrepreneurial side. Neumann's first business in the early 2000s was inspired by the idea to protect crawling infants. The endeavor was a line of baby clothes with built-in knee pads, conveniently named crawlers. But despite his enthusiasm, the product failed to gain traction, and Neumann needed to go back to the drawing board to come up with a better idea. So fast forward to 2010, still in New York City, he teams up with architect Miguel McKelvey to launch a business called WeWork. The idea was simple: lease large office spaces, convert them into shared workspaces, and sublet them to freelancers and startups. But Neumann didn't pitch the idea as real estate. Instead, he called it a movement, a mission, a revolution.
Corporate America in general has a cultural challenge today. And you know it if you just need the churn of employees that are younger than 30, if you just saw all the different things that are happening in the different organizations, you would know that culture today in corporate America is a very big deal. Do we give you the culture? We can't, because if you don't have a mission-driven business, we can't create a mission for you. But if you have a mission-driven business, then we can help talk about it. We can help make sure that it's communicated not just through your words and not just to your investors, but also how does your space feel? What is it all about? Are you part of something greater than yourself? And that we can help large or small companies with.
He walks barefoot in meetings, quotes philosophers, preaches about the collapse of human connection, and tells his future investors how WeWork will restore it. So of course investors are intrigued, not by the business, but by the man. He's magnetic charisma, philosophical musings, and grand promises. So Benchmark Capital, a venture capital firm, is the first to take the leap. $17 million into what looks like a co-working company. But Neumann insists it's not about renting desks, it's about changing the world. So, with capital from their first investor, WeWork began expanding globally, opening offices in London, Tokyo, Sao Paulo, and beyond. Each location becomes a cathedral of the We gospel. So WeWork hires hundreds of employees, and the company begins to have the spotlight placed upon them, appearing to be part of something revolutionary.
Just out this morning on WeWork, the company has added Harvard Business School professor Frances Free to its board of directors. She also served briefly as a senior vice president at Uber. Reports say WeWork is planning to kick off its initial public offering roadshow as soon as next week.
But there was something that WeWork was hiding. Beneath the polished interiors and kombucha taps is a brutal truth. The numbers didn't work. Every office cost the company a fortune to lease, renovate, and staff. As for revenue, it was a fraction of the outflow. So in 2018, WeWork reported losses of $1.6 billion. But Adam didn't flinch, and he thinks of the loss as investments in the future, saying that the mission is what matters.
If you're doing this just to make money, you're probably not in the right entrepreneurial business. Go get a job with corporate America. Build something that you love, build something with intention, and the money will follow.
And instead of trying to curb WeWork's bad spending habits, Adam launches We Live, apartment buildings where tenants are promised community. Then We Grow, a private school for children. And of course, these ventures generate buzz, but little revenue. But investors are convinced by his message, and they now want tech.
It's not even about being technology first. In today's world, when you build a company, if you're not technology oriented and you're not letting that lead your information process and your decision-making process, then you're missing out.
So Neumann rebrands WeWork as a tech company. Never mind that it owns no proprietary software. He compares it to Uber, to Airbnb, disruptors, not landlords. The idea was seductive, and no one was more seduced than Neumann's next investor, who pledges over $4 billion. Masayoshi Son, head of Japanese investment giant SoftBank, meets up with Neumann in New York. After providing him with a 12-minute tour of WeWork's offices, Neumann was able to convince Masayoshi to invest over $4 billion into WeWork. So Neumann now felt unstoppable, and his spending habits begin to show it. He buys a $60 million private jet, purchases real estate, then rents it back to WeWork, his own company. He acquires startups without a profitable strategy. Startups like AI tools, education apps, and even a company that makes artificial waves, trying to build on the illusion that WeWork is a tech empire. And unfortunately, investors buy it. The valuation soars to $47 billion, and IPO plans begin. But something's off. Before the IPO, Neumann cashes out over $700 million in stock. Now, why would the founder of a company who believes that their company could change the world dump millions of shares before going public? So fast forward to August of 2019, WeWork files for IPO.
The young CEOs of today are afraid of going public. I think two things change. One, there's never been access to private capital like this. So I'm not sure if we would see some of the largest companies in the world today. If they were starting today, I'm not sure you would see them going public as soon as they did. They had no other choice. Most companies in the world run their company with quarterly earning reports. And when I'm going to make a decision, this is true about life and true about a business. When I'm going to make a decision based on 3 months forward, I'm not going to make the right decision. Masa is very famous for making a 300-year plan. If you want to start thinking forward, you really have to think really far away.
But the illusion shatters. Public documents reveal that the company was burning through over $2 billion annually, with rent alone devouring 80% of the company's revenue. Investigative journalists dig in. The private jet, the personal properties, the $6 million We trademark Neumann sold to his own company. The mess is too big to ignore. So investors begin to panic. The IPO is canceled, and the $47 billion dream drops to $8 billion overnight. Therefore, SoftBank recognizes the catastrophe and decides to step in as a lifeline. But under one condition, Neumann must go.
SoftBank has won the bid from the board. What does that deal entail?
So the deal entails, as we reported some of this yesterday, they're going to take over the company for about $8 billion. Probably the most stunning part of this deal is the payout to Adam Neumann, the co-founder and CEO. It looks like as part of this, he's going to get a package worth about $1.7 billion.
As for his employees, 2,400 employees were laid off, and people who believed in the mission, who gave everything to the dream, were sent home. We Live shut down. We Grow abandoned. Office expansion halts. WeWork goes from 700 locations to just 66, and in 2023, the final blow lands. WeWork files for bankruptcy. The revolution is over. Following Neumann's departure, WeWork underwent significant restructuring. And Neumann, meanwhile, he invested in various startups and real estate ventures after his departure. He was even able to get a venture capital firm in 2022 to invest $350 million into his new project called Flow, a project aiming to revolutionize the residential rental market. So while Adam Neumann didn't break the law, he broke something bigger: trust. He built a company on buzzwords, burned billions in the name of growth, and made himself rich while doing it. In the end, people who paid the price were everyone else.